House Security Committee is holding a hearing about the homegrown terror threat. They're hearing from experts about the alarming rise in direct terrorist recruiting through social media. Investigators are closely tracking the Twitter trail of the two gunmen who attacked the Prophet Muhammad art contest in Texas this week. Elton Simpson and Nadir Sufi were both shot and killed by police, and there's no direct evidence to back the ISIS claim that it was behind the attack. But investigators now say Simpson closely followed at least 3 known ISIS sympathizers on Twitter who were calling for retaliation. I'm joined now by terrorism expert Laith Al-Khoury, senior analyst with Flashpoint Global Partners. Laith, good to see you.
Hi, Jose.
Let me ask you about this online recruitment effort by ISIS and other terror groups. How sophisticated has it become?
It's actually extremely sophisticated. It takes place, mostly online on a number of channels. Some of them are deep in the deep web and dark web, where most people won't be able to have access to. But it's also on every single social media outlet you could think about. And when we talk about ISIS recruitment, we're not talking only about centralized media trying to recruit others through propaganda videos. But also we're talking about the pro-ISIS supporters who go online and try to recruit others when even themselves are not on the ground there. They do this peer pressure and peer support and try to get others to follow ISIS even if themselves have not.
Yeah, and there's hearings on Capitol Hill right now, as a matter of fact, on the issue of social media and recruitment efforts, and there you see part of that hearing underway. I'm just wondering, how massive are the communications? Is this Twitter movement by, I guess it's ISIS and all the other terrorist groups?
Well, it's absolutely massive. We of course see that ISIS has revolutionized the use of social media by terrorist groups. It has multiple media machines that work for it, but it also has thousands of individuals all around the world who speak multiple languages and are able to bring its message to audiences around the world in multiple forms. So it's absolutely massive, and it's a big problem. But I don't think the solution is actually shutting it down. I think the solution might better be watching it very closely and relaying all kind of intelligence. You see, it's I would stress that it's absolutely key that it's the responsibility of the community, if they see something online, to say something.
Laith Al-Khoury, always a pleasure. Thank you for being with me. I want to bring in Dean Obadiah, who has been, very vocal on the issue that we're discussing today. It's good to see you, Dean.
Good to see you, Jose.
So let's talk a little bit about this issue of the reaction, for example, to what happened in Texas, and the fact that what happened in Texas, some say, is actually a provocation to what happened.
In my view, it shouldn't be. I'm such a great defender of freedom of expression. Pamela Geller or anyone else has the right to demonize any faith they want. She has a right to draw a cartoon of the Prophet Muhammad, and the response should never, ever be violent. The response by everyone should be to counter her bigotry, if that's what you view it as, and I do certainly, through words, through our own letters to the editor, through comedy. And I saw Muslim groups doing that here in the States. It was MuslimGirl.net, had their own draw your favorite Muhammad cartoon, your friend Muhammad, your uncle Muhammad, that sort of co-opt her campaign before this incident happened. That's the right response. So, to me, she can do it, and that's it. She has the right to do it, and that's what we have in America, the freedom of expression, and that's what it must be.
Yeah, and it's interesting because, for example, what you just told me, I don't think it's been widely reported. The fact is that there are movements, and there are people that are involved and react in a peaceful, smart, intelligent way.
Absolutely, and I spoke to the leaders of the Muslim community in Dallas area the night of this incident. In the weeks up to this, they had pleaded with people in the community to ignore her. On Facebook, they put it, Care in Dallas, and ignore her, don't give her what she wants. And Muslims went to the protest area, which they had set up for them. They did not want to get involved in it at all. We know Pamela Geller. She's not new to us. She's literally a punchline to our community. I'm not exaggerating. We make fun of her. And she loves the freedom of expression. She's blocked me on Twitter, so I guess her idea of freedom of expression is, God forbid you counter her freedom of expression, she blocks you. But, she's not an unknown commodity. She doesn't really aggravate us like she did. We've known her for 5 years. And at this point, we counter her through our own words, through mocking her, through ridicule. And that's the right way. That's the American way, to be honest with you.
And then, Dean, you know, there's this whole issue. I was just looking at some of the numbers. 90,000 tweets a day coming out related to ISIS or other terrorism, that's terrorist organizations. I mean, 90,000 messages a day. That's just ISIS social media. You know, it's just overwhelming to think of just how much negative information is coming out of these terror organizations, and who is seeing that and who is picking that up?
Well, that's a bigger issue. I mean, there will be people in ISIS which will use what Pamela Geller did to recruit. There's no doubt. They're saying, look, they're demonizing the Prophet Muhammad. You know, I was at the White House Countering Violent Extremism Summit about a month ago, where they talked about the social media footprint of ISIS so outnumbers what we're doing in response. So, you know, it's a real burden, and they are effective on social media. They're recruiting people, and in the Muslim community, and our Muslims, we're trying our best internally to counter that message of ISIS. We tell our young Muslim friends and brothers and sisters, don't fall for them.
Dean Oberdalla, always a pleasure to see you. Thanks,
Jose.
Coming up, some big developments on the race for 2016 as New Jersey Governor Chris Christie heads to New Hampshire, and Hillary Clinton's money moves are back in the headlines. Meanwhile, polls are open in a general election across the pond. It's being called one of the most unpredictable elections in decades there. I'll tell you why next on The Rundown.